or people who have sex in their cars is lower back pain, because to sit and to thrust, the forces resolve around your lower back, and it brings a lot of pain. I'm not saying that's what you do, but I'm saying it's a major thing, so look at it. Anyway, all these people, nobody knew me as a good person. I'm a bad person, I'm rude. So Kakra said that we've known Kapos for all this time, and I'm not supporting his being rude to Steve, but why don't we just suspend him or something? I really appreciated you, Kakra, when you said that. But my lack of knowledge, I didn't know that you were about to increase my prison sentence. In 2022, all the bishops of the UD were gathered all over the world, and we moved to Maldives to go and have a meeting with our founder, who was going to put across the vision of fishing and fusion and all those kind of things, and how both makes the church great. Those details, those who went there know, and it won't help this discussion. But then the fallout for me at that meeting was I was dismissed. I was dismissed without trial. I was dismissed without warning. I was summarily dismissed, you know. And one may ask, did I steal? What did I do wrong? And the interesting thing is that of almost 150 bishops who were there, and all were in agreement and voted for my dismissal, most of them did not know or did not understand anything which was going on. It was what you call herd mentality. You look at where the shepherd is pointing, that's Dagwood Mills. You look at where some of the bigger goats are running to, and you just follow them.
Shalom, people of God. Welcome to the Narrow Way Christian Network, a place for biblical truth, faith, and Christian living. May God's word guide you today. So we woke up again to another unfortunate news. It's unfortunate. I don't know why I come your way and it's like I'm bringing a scandal relating to the church. This is sickening. 2026 is one hell of a year. We've done only how many days? 7, 8 days in the year. And then the scandals are just sickening. It's just crazy. So today, what am I bringing to you? We are having a scandal that has hit Lighthouse Chapel once again. You know, this is actually not the very first time we are having such a scandal hitting Lighthouse. Okay, there's been several, you know of it, over the years. There's been several accusations, several exposés by people supposedly who were in the church and had to leave for what various reasons, basically about sex and then whatever. Now, there's one thing that I thank God about, and then there's a side that most of you haven't paid attention to. There's one thing that I thank God about, that in all the sexual exposés and all the accusations ongoing on in Lighthouse, nobody has dared ever fingered Bishop Dag Heward-Mills. What does it tell you? It tells you that the man of God is having integrity. Trust you me, if you've ever seen or moved with Bishop Dag Heward-Mills, you'd realize that he's one of the few men of God who actually walks with a lot of integrity. If it's not in the Bible, if Jesus doesn't approve it, this man is not doing it. So there's been several accusations, but then it's always relating to a bishop in the church or several pastors in the church. But nobody has ever fingered Bishop Dag Heward-Mills. And this is a man of God worth mentioning, a man of God worth emulating. So what are we talking about today? Today, one pastor from Lighthouse who has left the church has come out with a lot of expose. It's just crazy. I won't be able to talk about it. I want you to listen and then hear for your own self. But before that, let me say this quickly. Please do not forget to subscribe to this channel. You are watching our videos and you are not subscribing. It's not nice. You know, we need to build this channel. So if you don't, that's the only way you can support us with production. So you need to support us by liking our videos, subscribing, watching to the very end, and leaving a comment so that YouTube will be encouraged, the algorithm will be able to spread and then share information to other people so that we can help spread the gospel. So let's go. Let's listen, and then let me know what you think of this. Shalom.
Hello, it's me once again, and today I was just thinking that since time has elapsed, it's almost 3 years. and some of you just got on board. People be wondering, what's this big deal about the day December 8th? And what's all these things we hear about Maldives? Is it the code name of a place or what? Well, it's the Maldives right in the Indian Ocean. The Maldives, you know, the one you see on CNN, beautiful place, white beaches, turquoise, what, 5-star hotels and all that. Yes, in 2022, all the bishops of the UD were gathered all over the world, and we moved to Maldives to go and have a meeting with our founder, who was going to put across the vision of fishing and fusion and all those kind of things, and how both makes the church great. Those details, those who went there know, and it won't help this discussion. But then the fallout for me at that meeting was I was dismissed. I was dismissed without trial. I was dismissed without warning. I was summarily dismissed, you know. And one may ask, did I steal? What did I do wrong? And the interesting thing is that of almost 150 bishops who were there, and all were in agreement and voted for my dismissal, most of them did not know or did not understand anything which was going on. It was what you call herd mentality. You look at where the shepherd is pointing, that's Dagwood Mills. You look at where some of the bigger goats are running to, and you just follow them. And that's exactly what happened. But there was a background to that crazy day, December 8th. And well, I look back because it's also a day of liberation. But it had to be that painful, it had to be that traumatic for me to wake up from my hypnotic stupor, which still most of them are in. It's quite interesting that 3 years after December 8th, most of those bishops have been terminated. They are now doing what they've been deceived to call self-support, meaning that they are working, but they are not being paid. So, unlike me, who was unlawfully and wrongfully dismissed and given a package, I was given a car, a Chevrolet Tahoe, which later on they took me to the police and accused me of stealing. And I was given a tidy sum of money, which those who voted for me to be kicked out did not get. So what happened on December 8th? What happened on that day? You know, I'll just go back a bit for you to know where I was standing with Dagwood Mills before sitting at that meeting. Because you can be at a meeting, there are so many background things which informs the decision of the people. So 2 people who misled the whole house on that day is Dagwood Mills, well, with the help of Marcel Aboagye and Steve Asari. They deceived the whole house. The interesting thing is that there were not less than 10 people there who knew the truth, but there was nothing they could do. Prince Adai knew the truth. Randy Mills Thompson knew the truth. Even Marcel, who lied against me, knew the truth. My late brother, the Archbishop, knew the truth. Atu Dixon knew the truth. But the truth did not matter. That's what I came to realize later, that loyalty is stronger than the truth. And Jesus is the truth personified. So if loyalty is about him, then loyalty is something which is antichrist. That's what led to my first burning of Doug's books. I'm going to put it up on the screen. You will see it below burning. This is not the first time I've burned the books. This December 8th is actually going to be the 3rd time that I'm going to burn these books, you know. So what happened next? Dagwood Mills for some time had been picking up on me because of a couple of things that he felt I was doing wrong. One was my relationship with Steve Mensah, not the same Steve Mensah. This is Steve Mensah, who was the chief of his security and was the personal assistant to the project managers, Alice Obaka. For some reason, Dag fired him. He claimed that there was nothing to do. He should go home. There's two years salary. That was just before COVID came, you know. And it was quite disturbing because we've come to serve. Our plan was not for us to be sent home. So he wasn't happy. So he left the church. But being like a close brother to me, I went against the teachings of loyalty and continued to relate with him. I did not break up communication with him. So Doug found out one day, and foolish me, at that time I thought Doug was, I'm sure his white skin and all those things made me feel that he's nearer to God. I actually used to believe that the Spirit of God was so heavily upon him that if I lied to him, he will know. Otherwise, I would have just have lied. And I want to advise all those who are with him that when he comes attacking, just lie to him. He will not know. He can't know. He's not a prophet. You know, they see anything, you know. So you can just lie to him. But I didn't know. So he said, Kapos, are you still in touch with Steve? I said, yes. Hey, that became a big problem for me. And after shaming me publicly, warning me excessively, getting the General Executive Council to interrogate me like a criminal, my phones were searched. Larry, it's because of you people. There was serious panic mode, you know. But I came out of that, but Doug never trusted me afterwards. The next thing was that there was this sexual scandal, big one, you know, and I was not a partaker in the sex, but it was my close friend's wife who had been bumped. My close friend who's a bishop, his wife had been bumped by a senior bishop, you know, for a decade. And yeah, and I said it's a fact, it happened. And Doug claimed that me, Kapos, I'm the one who caused this information to go out and was now persecuting me as if I went to have the sex, you know. And instead of Doug knowing that me, I would have given my life to him for anything all the time. And this particular intergalactic scandal was so scary that if you ask me once, have you told anybody? And I say no. You claim you're a father. Will your children not tell lies to you when they're afraid? Of course, I told people. I couldn't keep it in my head. I told Atu Dixon. I can name so many people I told. Samuel Beidou, all those people. And then they also knew. It's not like I went to inform them. They also knew. They all had their sources. This thing was all over the place. And all the comedies we were having there. You know? When one woman slapped one man, I wasn't there, but we heard it. I don't know if it's true. If it's true, that means it leaked. If it's not true, fine. It's a rumor. I didn't know. You know? So, Doug, you branded me a liar. And that's your secretary, Vesta. She had the nerve to call me a froward person. Who is more froward than Vesta? Look into the things well. Was she not even heard? It's rumored that she was heard on that recording with that guy talking about. I don't know how she got out of that. It's rumored. It's alleged. I don't know. You see, but you dare to come and call me froward. I remember her calling me froward on December 7th. You know, and I said, you, Vesta, who have you not spoken to? Who are your friends? Who are your close friends? Don't you have close friends who are not in Lighthouse? Don't you have close friends who don't like the ministry of Dag Heward-Mills? How can you, a loyal person, have close friends who are not in support of this ministry and you dare call me froward? I knew that at that time, but I said nothing because I wasn't liberated. Now you can't do anything to me, you know? Fine. So Dad called me a liar over Steve, over this sex scandal. And then to make it worse, he came to Rwanda in September of 2022, where I'd given my best in the most impossible place to do the impossible. Only for Lavelankra, I hear is no longer a bishop now. You made him a bishop instead of sitting down to look into why Lavelle Ankra attacked the vice mayor of the town he was having a crusade in. And when we were telling you the truth, you and the foolish people around you had the nerve to say that me, Kapos, I'm against. Why should I be against Lavelle? I'm the one who tapped him. I said, Lavelle should come. I'd like to work with you. His wife and 3 children are back home in Ghana. Why would I be against him? He was already in prison. They were going to lock him for 3.5 years. I did what I had to do. I defied your misinformed instructions. And that's what you could not stand. And the people at Maldives, they didn't know all that. And I got Lavelle out. It wasn't Marcel. Marcel knows it. Marcel flew in from Central African Republic the night before Lavelle was released. He couldn't do anything. We just had a good time in Kigali. We visited the Genocide Memorial. We went to a Chinese restaurant and we talked. Me and him, we gossiped. One of the things he said is that we really need to pray for our daddy. He said he can't tell me, but we must pray for our daddy. You know, and I remember one night when Kwekwana broke a story on Ghana News. He's the one I went to call. It was about this adultery issue. What should we do? He said, let's call Big Bro. And I called Bishop Prince. And they killed it. That's how fast I am when it comes to propaganda and all those kind of things. You don't know your valuable soldiers. Anyway, so going to Maldives would cost my little church in Nsawam so much, we couldn't pay. I told that impish guy, Steve Asari, that we can't pay. So please help me buy the ticket, which all the other bishops' conveners were doing for the bishops who had low income. Not low income because they don't work, it's because that's the way the place is. How can the people in Nsawam contribute for me to go to Maldives? You know, so just buy the ticket, you won't buy. Then you have the nerve to call me in the night to ask me stupid questions like, why have I paid my salary? What do you mean by that? So I'm very happy I was rude to you. And guys, listen, yes, I was rude to Steve Asari because at the age of 51, he cannot call me after 9:30 p.m. in the night and just speak to me as if I'm his houseboy simply because I said I want to work for the Lord and ask me why I paid my own salary. I mean, what kind of nonsense is that? I gave to him and I did not ask for forgiveness. I knew to come up in Maldives. So they sat down and hatched a plan for me. Thursday after lunch, that session is for couples. I could feel it. I could feel it. I told my friend Napo, distance yourself from me, Napo, from now on. Because what is coming is not good. Since then, I've never heard from Napo anymore. Go and chase him. So, what happened next? They started asking questions. What have you learned from the place you've come? I said, well, I've learned that I'm not supposed to tell lies. They say no. I say, I met with Bishop. Bishop told me. And as he was preaching, he kept on talking, looking my direction. So that's what I feel I got. They say no about income, attendance, you have to have 1,000 members, blah, 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 blah. Then Steve Asari got up. Said that's how he doesn't even have enough money to buy his ticket. And when we were trying to help him, he was rude. He said I should never talk about his salary again. Then Klufio jumped up. And said that's what Larry Odonko also said. He should no longer be a bishop. And Klufio, you had the nerve to WhatsApp me to tell me you didn't say that. You said that. I remember. I have a good memory. And then we had what's his name? Dodu, Robert Dodu. Grown ass man. He stood up like a baboon. I don't know why they rather call other people orangutan, but he's the greatest baboon amongst the lot. Thumping his chest. It's only baboons that thump their chest when they are on heat. Couples should be sacked. One by one. Everybody. Even Pius. Pius, remember you told me you came to Kudesh, the problems you are facing in Kudesh. I hope you don't want us to discuss that one here. And I hope you have a hold over it. You know, now that you've also been turned into a movie star, deal with that problem. Pius had the nerve to stand up and recommend that I should be sacked. They didn't know that you were about to increase my present sentence. You know, so God being so good, what Kakra said was like, you know, when God spoke from heaven that I've glorified him and I'll glorify him again. Even though the voice came from the people, some heard thunder, others heard other things. And that day when Kakra spoke, it was like thunder to them. They didn't hear. So at the end of the day, Dan came in and accused me of Rwanda. That's the point where I stood up and I pointed to him and I said, what you are saying is not true. In other words, you are a liar. And Marcel noticed that, no, this guy has shifted into his crazy mode. Marcel was with us 12 years ago. That's 2010 in Damongo. When I flipped, I was being abused like that after a bad crusade in Damongo. And at a point, I flipped. I jumped up and I told Dag, you can't say that to us. You can't. We've left our all. We've come to stay in this God-forsaken place in the middle of nowhere. You can't say we are not looking after things well. Neither can you say we are not doing the work. The meeting ended at once. I considered resigning then, but Bishop Saki talked me back into working. I don't even know why I listened, but fine, I did. That was in 2010. So Marcel had seen that before.
So family, I don't know what you think of it. This is becoming one too many exposés, especially coming from Lighthouse Chapel. Well, this cannot be verified. This cannot be verified. So I wouldn't want, that's the disclaimer. It's unverified. He was a pastor with a church, and that is what he's saying. I don't know what you make of this, but then hey, these are things that we should expect in these last days that we are in. Whatever we are hearing should actually make us better people and better prepared for the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. So whatever it is that you are doing for the Lord, keep doing it and be motivated to do it the more. Because we know by this that Matthew 24 is about being fulfilled. Jesus Christ will come and he's coming quickly and he's coming soon. May the peace of God guide you, keep you wherever you are. Shalom.